As you hear the monks chant, it softly enters into your mind, and you can feel yourself praying deeper with them. As I walk from one chapel to the next, it speaks to me of the quiet prayerfulness of this place.
Hello, Father.
Hi, welcome, Adam. Hi, I'm Father Chad. I'm the guest master here, so it's great to welcome you here.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. Tell me, what can I expect here at Ampleforth?
Well, it depends partly what you're looking for.
Okay.
We're a community of about 40 monks, and we offer a combination of retreats, guided retreats. People can come just on their own, come in groups. I think people like joining us for our regular prayer and for Mass in the morning. But they also come here, I think, because it's a peaceful place.
Oh, good.
The valley has a sort of serenity to it and a calm. One of the reasons they're drawn here is because it is a beautiful place which speaks to them not just, oh, this is nice day visit, but this has something to say to me about what really matters.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, Father.
Good.
The stone of this church is cut so beautifully, but also so humbly, and it speaks to me of the quiet prayerfulness of this place and those who live here.
I walk in here and it's quite an inspiring space. I was wondering, what do people report to you when they walk in here? Is it a similar sort of feeling? Do they get that sense of awe when they walk in?
The primary function of a monastic church is to provide a place where monks can gather at regular intervals throughout the day to celebrate the divine office and Mass. But it also needs to reflect the work and the pastoral outreach of particular communities, and that will vary from monastery to monastery. The work of the English Benedictine community has always been education. And a year after our own community fled the persecution of the French Revolution and arrived here in 1802, the original house into which the community had moved had been built in 1793 for Father Anselm Bolton, who was one of our monks and who had become chaplain to Anne Fairfax at Gilling Castle. And in 1806, work began on a chapel within a wing of that house so that it couldn't be seen from the outside because there was still a lot of anti-Catholic feeling. As the school grew steadily, however, it became clear that something bigger would be needed than that small chapel. So Charles Hansom of Hansom Cab fame was commissioned to design a Victorian Gothic church, and this was completed in 1857. The arches, the windows, door frames and courses are all picked out in this beautiful blue Hornton stone, which comes from a quarry at Banbury in Oxfordshire. And then all the walls are finished in rough plaster. The triumphal arch over the tabernacle and the high altar is the central focus of the building. And there are 8 significant statues built into it. 4 on this side, 4 on the monastic choir side. We've got a statue of Our Lady, which is very beautiful. It shows Our Lady as a young mother, very happy and jolly. That comes from the Middle Rhine area of Germany and dates from the first half of the 14th century. The candlesticks on the altar The angel candlesticks, they are Italian from about circa 15th century. And then the corpus of the crucifix itself is also about that same period, 15th century, but it's South German. The stained glass is much more recent. The one behind the altar, that dates to 1961, which is when the first stained glass was put into the church. And then all the others were put in a bit later in 2002. Most of the people who come here say that it is a very peaceful place. You feel it's almost palpable, you can feel the peace. Not everyone is religious. I've had people say, you know, I'm not even a Christian, but I love coming here because it just makes me feel inspired and at one with myself. It's a prayerful place. It's a place where people come to heal wounds. Sometimes they come to talk to a monk. Sometimes they don't talk on the first instance when they come. They may go and then come back again once they've built up a relationship with someone and they feel that they can share a little bit more easily.
Something else I noticed whilst walking around here is in some of the pillars over there, there's quite a range of animals up in the pillar, and I was quite curious. I saw, you know, some interesting animals in there. Where have they come from?
That's a very amusing story. The man who was carving them, he used to sit up on his ladder chiseling away. And we've always had close links with the school. So boys would come in to see what he was doing. And they'd stand looking up at him. And he'd say, "What's your favorite animal? If you like, I'll carve one for you." And so that's why there are lots of rabbits, but other also more interesting animals. It was the children who just came and asked for their favorite animal to be carved.
Part of having children here and involved, you get that innocent purity.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is considered one of the finest organs in the country. It has 5 divisions. It's got a grate, a swell, a positive choir, and a solo organ. And the solo organ also plays those silver trumpets up there, which are fantastic for fanfares. It has a separate blower. And as I say, it's considered a very fine organ and is used by a lot of people for concerts. It's very popular with organists who come and try it out. In 1607, there was the last remaining monk from the Marian community, which had been re-established at Westminster Abbey in 1556 by Queen Mary. And in 1607, that last surviving monk, Sigebert Buckley, aggregated 2 monks to his community, the community of Westminster. They subsequently went back to the continent and ended up as monks of Ampleforth, well at Dieulouard, as we were then. And that effectively means that there is the link between Westminster Abbey and Ampleforth Abbey. And what I would like to do is now take you to a tile which was given to us by the Dean of Westminster, which commemorates that very special link that we have.
It looks a bit beaten up, tile there in the middle, but the rest suggests that there's something going on there a bit more.
I mentioned that there is a connection between Ampleforth Abbey and Westminster Abbey. And that tile was presented in 1935 by the Dean of Westminster Abbey. In fact, the stone, it's quite nice. The inscription, which comes from the prophet Isaiah, chapter 50, Attenditer Petra Mundi Exisiestis, hearken to the stone from which you were hewn, from which you were cut. So it's rather nice, in a way, to remind us of our roots in Westminster Abbey. There it is, but then the past has led on to the future, and here we are up in Yorkshire.
As I walk from one chapel to the next, I can see that each one has its own individual character and quality that calls you to have a personal moment with God.
Hello, Father Bede. It's lovely to be with you today.
Thank you.
One of the names that I've seen sort of plastered around the building and heard about is Anne Fairfax.
Yes.
Can you tell me about her a bit?
They were a famous North Yorkshire family. They had a townhouse in York, which is still called Fairfax House. And Lady Anne Fairfax was a Catholic, and she wanted a priest to actually celebrate Mass for her and for the others in the family who were Catholic, and a chapel in the house. And the priest had a house here on this side here, just a little cottage almost, Father Anton Bolton, and he had a little house here, and he went across from here by carriage 3 or 4 times a week to celebrate Mass for Lady Anne and for the rest of the family.
Another name that I've heard is Robert Thompson.
Robert Thompson, yes. Yeah, he's called the Mouse Man.
The Mouse Man?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Our parish priest in the village, just during and just after the First World War, Father Paul Neville, who eventually became headmaster here, a very famous headmaster, later in his monastic life. He was parish priest in the village, and after the end of the First World War, he wanted to have a war memorial erected in the cemetery in the village church to remember those who were killed, both the students, ex-students, old boys here, and also people in the village who were being killed in the First World War. So he wanted a memorial. So he thought about a crucifix, a full-size crucifix with the corpus on the crucifix. So he asked locally, did anybody know who could maybe make a crucifix? So the people put him onto this man called Mr. Thompson, who then lived in Coxwold. So he produced this beautiful crucifix, full-size, wood, in English oak. And Father Paul said to him, that's absolutely wonderful, thank you. And he said, have you ever thought of going into business as a woodworker? And that was the little seed, the mustard seed, that actually got him to think, well, maybe I should start to do this as a business. And ever since, his family have been making Thompson furniture. And it's called the Mouse Man because his trademark, which he puts on all his furniture, is a little mouse. Every craftsman has a different mouse, just slightly different. So we've got lots of Thompson furniture around here. He's now known worldwide. We had 25 chapels built downstairs for monks to celebrate Mass, because in those days, every monk had to say his own Mass.
Yes.
And then with Vatican II came what we call concelebration, where the monks can say Mass together, community. The church is the body of Christ, it's a community, so let's get together for concelebration for Mass, and we've done it since. But the altars are still used for private meditation and for occasional Masses for groups who come.
Taking Father Bede's suggestion, I ventured down into the crypt, which feels like stepping into a spiritual time capsule, thinking of how the monks of the past filled it with the Mass. The Holy Mass here, of course, has a monastic quality, with the fathers and brothers celebrating together. The Mass being what brings us together as Catholics, and you can see how it brings them together in this community. And I felt that too.
Thank you for sitting with me here, Father Abbot Roberts. I've had a chance to speak to some of your brothers about the beautiful abbey in there, the architecture, the history. Good if you and I could talk a bit about, the principles of the rules of St. Benedictine.
So St. Benedict tried to bring together many different monastic rules. So the rule has been adapted to the present situation, but the key principles remain the same about living together as brothers.
Yeah.
Learning to pray at regular times. Also the respect that we have for the differences of character, of temperament. We live an intense kind of family life in that we pray together, we live under the same roof, and we eat together. There's a lot of time that we spend actually together, but also separate in the various apostolates, various works we do. So different cultures, different ages have adapted the rule to suit the conditions. There are more oblates in the world than there are monks and nuns. Really? So there are more lay people living under the rule of St. Benedict than there are monks and nuns, because they find in the rule something that helps them in their family life. There's a place for everybody in the family. Everybody has their role to play, and that's coming from the rule. And so I think there's a tremendous amount in the rule that lay people can begin to reflect on and see, how can this help me in my own walk with God?
And I suppose, finally, is there anything that you feel I should have asked you that I've not?
Is there a future?
Is there a future?
I think there is a future, because people come to monasteries in order to find God. That's why the monks came here. We know that God is the primary source of hope and of happiness. So there's a future.
Thank you very much.